Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, back this time with my DC Direct Series 1 Green Lantern Parallax. Now, this is a figure that I actually used to have, but ended up selling in a set, never got to open it. So this is actually the second one I've owned. Found this guy at HeroCon for $10, which was an absolute steal, had to grab him, and here he is. So, there's not much to him in the box. He of course comes with his lantern base, which is behind his back. On the back you see Parallax, Hal Jordan, Black Hand, Kilowog, and the two Guardians, which are the ones that came in the wave. His little bit just says, following his descent into madness after the destruction of his beloved coast city, Hal Jordan became the maniacal villain Parralax. So yeah, Parralax was a story that came right before the introduction of Kyle Rayner, a little after the death of Superman, where Hal basically blamed the Guardians for letting everyone in his life get killed. And he snapped, he started slaughtering lanterns, and he released the entity known as Parralax, which bonded with him. And he destroyed the majority of the lanterns before he threw himself into a dying sun, and was eventually reborn in the current continuity as just regular Hal Jordan. Parallax has since bonded to Kyle Rayner, but they ripped that out of him. So, without further ado, let's pull this guy out of the package. And here he is out of the box. Now, there is one mentionable problem, which may just be quality control. But the way the ankle is snapped on to the overall part of the leg is when you put pressure on it, like when you try to put pressure to apply it to the peg for the base, the foot will actually bend almost to a point that it snaps off. Which is unfortunate, but overall, it doesn't take away from the overall figure once you've got it posed. Sometimes it'll lean, but you can work with it. Now, this is Parallax. He looks fantastic, honestly. Let's do a little 360 of him. Looks exactly like he did in the old comics. Emerald Twilight, I think is what they called it. His articulation, his arms go out to here. Bend at the elbow, wrist joint, same for both arms. Leg goes out to here, bends at the knee, ankle joint. Goes back to about here. The cape is a soft latex. It keeps its shape, but it's not going to hinder anything. The base, it's your standard Green Lantern base. It's a translucent green. Same for all the Green Lantern figures. So, overall, not much to him, but it was what I was expecting in the line. Get him on the base. The only real issue I've already said is the foot attachment, which I've already been over. I'm going to pick the camera up here for a second so I can get some of that detail in. There you can see all that great detail on him. You can see kind of how the foot joint is really poorly connected up. And there he goes, perfect example of what I was talking of. He's still on the base is still up, but he's leaning. And I'm not really going to chalk that up to a poor figure. I'm going to chalk that up to poor quality control. It's nothing I can't fix with a little glue. So, I'd give this figure a solid 7.5. There is a little bit of a risk factor, obviously, but I don't think it's every figure. There's, he's a great character, one of the lesser known villains in the DC Universe for some reason, even though he's one of the most powerful. If you're a Green Lantern fan and you haven't already got him, I definitely recommend picking him up because he's one of the only Parallax figures that have currently been made. Online, I think he goes for roughly $20. That's why I'm saying $10 at HeroCon was a steal. So overall, this is JTrain997. Parallax gets a 7.5 out of 10. I do recommend him for a Green Lantern fan, or if you're just trying to build up like a cast of villains in the DC Universe. And I'll see you soon, YouTube.